Yeah,
Be
I'll
awesome.
let you in, baby.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
And I'm just gonna spend a second meeting you guys just so that we can make sure it's all quiet during the recording. Welcome everybody. It's so good to see everybody. Thank you so much for showing up live. And we'll reintroduce ourselves for the call as we get going here. But just a couple quick reminders, just some admin stuff as we get started. Whenever we teach these recordings, especially these webinars, we might be reusing this recording. So if you don't want your video or your name on there, you can go ahead and shut that off. It's totally up to you. Just FYI, because we'll be taking you through a process, and other people signed up for this webinar. So they'll get a copy of this recording, so you may not know who they are. So just so you know, right? So some people like to privatize themselves. Just FYI ahead of time.
Yeah, so if you're super famous and you don't want your audience to know that you're here, block out your video.
Jen's like,
yeah, you, Jenny. Exactly.
Got one uncovered.
Look, Sharon blacked out hers.
I know, that was so cute.
I love you guys. I love you guys. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Elvis level, man.
So tonight's class, guys, is 100% interactive. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna take you through a process. We're gonna answer questions. As a lot of you know, this tonight's webinar is directed towards the one-year course that starts in 2021, but also to provide information, hold love, hold a space for us to gather and create. Sharon's on the call, and another woman named Alea, and Seth might hop on too. Our woman, Sharon, was in the year training 2 years ago, Sharon, is that right? And then other people might hop on from previous years. So we just say, hey, do you want to come? And so a couple other people could come, but they might be hopping in late. So you can ask them questions and we might call upon them through tonight's call too. And as you get to know Lynnette and I, a lot of you know me and some of you know Lynnette. We teach 100% interactively. So it's not like we're telling you something. We're holding space. We're going to share some information with you, and it's completely a dialogue. So Linda, if you have a question, Jen, if you have a question, just ask, share, and don't feel like, oh God, this is a silly thing to ask. Nothing is silly. Is that cool? Awesome.
And we invite all kinds of questions, right? And the other thing too is that depending on where you are in the intuition world and the intuition conversation of it, if something comes through to Divi and I, or in and around something you may ask or something that comes up or in the process, we'll share those intuitive hits with you as well, for you personally, right? So just to know, a little extra juju, and Sharon might too. So
Sharon on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm getting the hit to first share with you a little bit about the year course, like how it's structured, how it's set up, just so you have an idea. A lot of this is on our websites, but in case you've been wondering or haven't looked at the websites, but basically it's a year course. It's 12 months. And Lynnette, feel free to pop in. I'll just keep talking.
Absolutely.
But it's a year on purpose. It's an in-depth year, and it's a fun year. I need to make that really clear. It's fun and it's in depth. So it's not for people who just kind of want to skirt around it. It's for people who are ready to dive in. Okay. And Lynnette and I find everyone dives in. Some at different times. Some people are like standing on the edge. So people dive in, then they jump out. And there's no one's watching this. This is just an awareness, what happens. And the year course is set up as a transformational year. Now, a lot of people, after they finish the year course, will end up setting up a coaching business like Sharon has, but it's not like a requirement. You don't have to. There's a lot of people who take the training particularly for themselves, for their own growth. And to be honest, that's how we encourage it. And then, near the end, we start to talk about, the last few months, we start talking about if you want to coach, But in order to hold coaching of an intuitive coach nature, essentially you have to be able to live the work. So if I'm guiding a client through, say, a forgiveness exercise, I have to be able to sit here and say, yeah, I'm willing to forgive some stuff. Or if I'm taking a client through a positive visualization, I have to at least have practiced visualization. Is this resonating? Because we're teaching energy here. We're guiding clients energetically, and I'm never ahead of my clients. I've just been practicing this for a little while, right? And so that's why the year's course is set up as a practice tool. So over the 12 months, essentially you're going to learn tool after technique after tool after technique after tool after technique. And those techniques and tools can be applied to your life, regardless if you want to coach or not. But the coolest thing about these tools and techniques is I always see it. They're showing me a picture of it's like, you've got a suitcase worth of stuff and you're just pulling stuff out. and you're healing a lot of the stories that we all lug around. And, you know, a year is never, you're healing the rest of your life, but you've got these processes so deeply implanted in your psyche that in 2022, when something goes down, you'll know what to go back to. Right? So they're deeply, deeply implanted in you. And how the 12 months is split up, it's split up into 6 different modules. So we teach an energy module, which is about teaching you that you are energy and how to perceive and be and feel your energy. Then we teach a mind, body, spirit module, which is all about self-healing. And just so you know, even though I'm talking about them in 6 separate modules, they all overlap. It's not, and then the next module is intuition, but we just don't teach that over the intuition module. It's throughout the year. Just like energy is throughout the year. Then there's a module, and this is all on the website too, if you want it. There's a module on money. Then there's a module on business. And then there's a module on light body. Especially for those who don't want to set up a business, because we have a number of people who take the course without that. It's also geared towards, how do you want your life to be? Who do you want your best friends to be? Who do you want to hang out with? And so it's not just business. And, you know, you may not have issues with money, which is awesome too. We can always dive deeper into a relationship with anything, right? So money is about the relationship we have with money, how to dance with money, how to play with money. So it's not just about acquiring, it's about all these, all of these pieces, if you do want to coach, and or if you just want to live a really happy life, all of these tools and techniques are about creating that. For Divi, and I'll let Lynnette speak. I'll stop talking in a second. But for me, this work, honestly, for me, is really just about, just being really happy. Not like a sticky face happy. It's like truly in here, being contented. Like, honestly, just like finding that place of peace in here. Because stuff is going to go on. But how do I find my center? And am I here 24/7? No. But I know what tool, what technique, who to call, what to say, what to do to shift it. And when I'm in my stuff, it's like, oh, I'm terrible. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Because every contrast creates greater expansion. And I'll say 2 more things. When I first studied intuition, which was over a decade ago, it was honestly, don't laugh guys, it was honestly so I could be a better parent. It was like, okay, well, my kid's going to grow up. He'll be a teenager at some point. I would love to tune in to know if he's lying to me or not. I know that sounds silly, but I grew up lying to my parents. I mean, that was my whole childhood, was to survive childhood. That's just what I did. Okay. And so I want to be like a lie detector test, right? And so that was one of the reasons I did intuition training. And it sounds silly. I never thought I would coach clients ever till I met the woman on my right-hand side. And so taking the course isn't necessarily about, but that's why I took it. So that was one thing I was going to say. Second thing I was going to say was about creating more happiness and creating better. For me, it was about creating relationships. And the third thing I want to say is that what I really love about the year course is all of the connections that occur. So you'll connect with people in your year course, and we'll talk about that in a little bit about how it's set up in a little while. But it's so about creating these loving relationships that heal so much of our stories. So yeah, Lynnette, I'm going to hand off to you.
Okay. So one of the things that, what I love about the ICT is its transformation, how it as a course has gone through a transformation along with Divi and I. We started off in Whistler, me teaching an intuitive class for Divi's clients. It was a 3-day class. And it's like from then, Divi and I were like, oh my gosh, we work so well together that it started taking off. It started blossoming. She was doing a 6-month course. Let's add intuition to it. Let's add money to it. Let's add business to it. Whatever business you want to create, or if you want to create a business. And what we found, like Divi just mentioned, is like one of the greatest things for us as facilitators is being able to not only hold the space for these powerful people, but to witness these people coming into revolutionary awarenesses. And I say revolutionary because I feel like we're in that space now in our world with COVID, all the things happening. Big things need to change, and it has to start with us. And Divi and I are very much about, it starts with me. It starts right here. And like she said, we we are very authentic and very real. We walk the talk. We meditate. We do all the things that we suggest and recommend. We're not, no, you go do that because you're a beginner. No, because the work never ends. When I say the work, I mean, there's always more for us to learn about ourselves, about our relationship to humanity, and about our relationship to nature and the earth, right? So whether it's a global conversation or a microcosm conversation. And what I love about working with Divi is that she's able to take science and the understanding of neuroscience and how your brain works to where you're able to understand, like, oh, this is why I have this pattern. This is just a track that I created in my brain that the train continues to follow. And there's nothing wrong with me. I'm not broken. It's just it's very simple. And the way that we hold the course, like Divi said, it is all about fun. We have to have fun. If it's not fun, if it's hard, there's going to be challenges. Anytime anytime we choose to look at ourselves and to look at where's there room for growth? Where do I have resistance? Where do I have unforgiveness? Where am I not standing up and saying, this is what I really love and this is what I really need? As women, I find that we have a thing about our voice. And we kind of hold back, right? And I feel like that time has come. And this is about really stepping into your authentic self and having that and cultivating that voice. And Sharon, I'd like to point to you now for you to speak about finding that voice, if you don't mind. I'm totally putting her on the spot, by the way. And if you don't want to, that's okay, darling.
Oh no, I'm happy to. I just taught a class on the throat chakra on Monday. Right?
Right.
So yeah, for me, this class was really instrumental in helping me find my voice, because for my whole life, I was sort of told that what I had to say didn't matter. So being able to be a part of a year-long course meant that I could slowly unravel all of those old beliefs. And I had the tools to do it. And I had the support to do it. So, every week when you learn a new process or you learn a new concept, you get to practice it. And so what I found, the beauty of doing a year-long course, is I started to embody all of those tools and techniques, so they became a part of who I am, and not tools and techniques that I looked up in a book. And then having the support to practice what I was learning. So I know Divi and Lynnette are going to talk about sort of the pods and your coaching buddy, but I had like-minded people to help keep me on track and to help me in between class. And the beauty of it too is that, like, unexpected things happen. So I'm leading a women's group now with a woman that I took the course with, who I didn't know. We didn't even interact for probably the first 8 months. But for some reason, that connection is a lifelong connection now. So we started having coffee. We started discovering how many similar interests we had. And we actually found our voice together in teaching. So even though I was teaching on my own and she was doing her own stuff, together we co-created this women's group. And now we help other women find their voice. And yeah, so that's, I just want to say that was unexpected, beautiful. And all the work I do now is to help women find their voice.
It's powerful. And the other, one of the things that I feel, and I'm a little prejudiced, I'll be honest, okay, because I think Divi is magnificent. She's magical, and I adore her, right? And I've been working with her as her coach for, like, I think almost 12 years now, and she is a crazy powerhouse, and she's honest, and she's authentic, And that's what we bring. The one thing that I love about our course and what Divi and I set out, we said, you know what, how is our course going to be different from any other course out there? Because there's like a zillion courses out there, right? There's 20 zillion courses you can take, right? And what's different and what we've been continued to be told by participants is that we hold this class totally different. And that is that we really, each individual person is important to us. So in the course, in the time of the course, and over the year, if something goes sideways, and that's what I like to call, contrast, something goes sideways for you, and we have all these layers of support we'll go through in a minute that everybody's going to have. But you go through all those layers and it doesn't show up, you'll send a message to Divi and I on Facebook, and the three of us will have a Zoom call to make sure you're good, to explain, to hold you, to walk through if you're going through a really rough divorce, if you don't feel like you can make it, if COVID is like got you to where you're like foaming at the mouth, right? We're here. We're not these people that are going to go, okay, read chapter 1 through 6 and next week answer. No, we are, like Divi said, interactive. It's like, I don't learn that way. I don't learn that way. I learn by experiencing. And I love teaching to where we experience it as we go. And that's how Divi and I have created this. It is totally experiential and it's from the heart. It is like 100% our purpose, our mission, and our passion. And it is something that and I know Divi does too, I'll speak for her, that we take very seriously. And so if something goes down for you during the course, we're going to ask you to reach out to us. And we've had this happen every year where there's something, we get the hit, we're intuitives, we get the hit that there's something up with Susan over here. So, okay, Susan's so we send a little Facebook message and say, hey, what's going on? How are you? And they're like, oh my gosh. Right? How did you know? Well, let's set up a call. Right? So the thing about this container, because what we do is we create a sacred container, a sacred safe space for an entire year. And it's profound. It's profound. And I'm not saying that because I'm one of the facilitators. I'm saying it because I've witnessed, like Sharon. I mean, she's like the bomb diggity. I mean, she's like, hey, I'm teaching this over here and I got this over here. And guess what? I taught a class with Divi and Christine and look over here and over here. And I'm like, right? I mean, this is what we're talking about. The magical things that happen, the coincidences, which we don't believe in that, but all these magical connections. Like Sharon said, didn't really interact with this woman for 8 months. And now they're best buds teaching holding groups for women to support them and teaching them about everything from the throat chakra to the toes. I mean, everything from head to toe, right? So we know that this is a transformational course, but like Divi said, it requires your participation. Right? It requires it to be present. And it does at times over a year, stuff comes up. And a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, but me, when stuff comes up, I used to hide. I would hide. I'm good. Right? I told you, I'm all about laughs. So and Divi and I are going to say, no, come on. You got to speak up. You're valuable. Your voice matters. We need to hear what you think. We need to hear how you feel. We care about you, your voice. We care about your heart. We care about your body. We care about your connection. And that is true. I don't know. I don't think I can say any more about that. I think it's something that I take a lot of pride in. And that is because we hold it with so much love. So, it's something that I promise you that we will be there for you through the year, 100%. We're not going to bail. right? Divi, what do you want to say?
Sure,
babe?
that's what a couple of things that are coming in. Just so you guys like understand the layers of support. So what happens in January every year is Lynnette and I sit down and look at the list of names, and energetically we look at the list like, okay, Jen's here, and Marie's here, Terry's here. Okay, feel their energy, not think. And then we feel and assign you what's called a coaching buddy. So one other person in the group through energetically, intuitively that you're going to connect with. Now the coaching buddy and you might connect every week, every month, that's up to you, but you have a buddy, somebody you can turn to. Okay. Then on top of that, we assign what's called a pod group, which is usually a group of 2 or 3 other people that you meet with monthly. Then on top of that, you have a mentor, somebody like Sharon, who's done the year course before. So you have all of these layers of support that are there for you. Okay. Then like Lynnette said, we're there as well. So if you've taught your coaching buddy, your pod, your mentor, you can't get anywhere and something's going south, just call us, just send us the Facebook message. We're there. Then that's coming in, and this is for some of your left brain, because I can hear some of your left brain screaming. Okay. When I started working as a coach, and Lynnette and I have different stories, you'll hear about them over the year. You know, we both have different backgrounds as to how and why we started, you know, and for both of us, we run our businesses purely from a place of service. Our business is a reflection of us, but we can both also tell you how busy we are. And not like this, oh my God, we're great because we're busy, but in this place of the demand is high because people want to be loved and they want to heal in a very different way than they've been healed before. And it's like I was working with a client who is in the year course that finished just last year. So they're 11 months out. And she decided to start a coaching business, right? Again, it's optional. You don't have to. Started her coaching business and she got slammed. And so she said, she came in the other day, she's like, Divi, I'm really busy. I'm seeing like 15 people a week. It's great. It's great. It's a lot of people. I don't know what to do, right? She said, but I think I love it. In fact, I know I love it. You know, and it's like, it's getting that, you know, and she doesn't want, she's teaching some classes, doesn't want to teach that many classes. And so she's finding this balance. And the beautiful thing is it's a dance from service. So whatever you want, you can create. And we teach you that through the course. Okay. If you want to create a business of 1 person or 0 or 15 or 1,500, you're going to learn the tools. And Lynnette and I can speak of, and this is just for your left brains, because I hear some of your left brain screaming at me. It's purely that there's a demand out there and there's love out there. And because working as an intuitive coach is working from love and energy, you can practice this just like you practice anything, practice medicine, practice law, but it's a practice because you're constantly working on yourself at the same time. Does that kind of resonate?
I love Rhea's question. What if we already have a practice going?
Awesome. And your practice, Rhea, is in, and I have an answer, but your practice right now is as an intuitive coach or as a coach or as a healer, or do you want me to unmute you, or do you want to just type it in?
Yeah, let's unmute her so we can chat with her.
Let's see if I
Should we answer her question?
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Hi, Rhea.
Hey. Hi.
Okay.
I just actually this year just started my private practice in ecotherapy, and will be moving into also animal assisted therapy, primarily working with trauma and a whole bunch of stuff. So it's a really big holistic package, which includes forest bathing, energy healing, meditation. Like, it's a really big package, but those are kind of the pieces that I've released so far. So it obviously this would build upon that, I would assume, right? So, and be more work for me that I could then include in to making that practice even bigger, I guess, right?
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say work. It wouldn't be work.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm like that. I will go, you said work. Right?
It's like
Because
the word try.
I listen like nobody's business. And the work is really understanding our worth and value and what we contribute in service. And so the fact that you've already gone, okay, here we've got the animals and working with trauma and we have all these things, it's like, oh my gosh, now let's add this to it. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah. Because one of the things that we do in the business module is we teach about how to connect with a business using universal laws, not going about it, okay, you got to be that used car salesman, right? That's not who we are.
No.
As you'll see, Divi and I are not going to be high pressure here. Sign up today and you get this. That's not who we are. That's not who we are. And so this space is so sacred that in that business module, it's like, look, you can learn how to express and invite people to who you are and what you're offering, and receive even more clients, even more direction, right? Maybe what you want to say to Rhea, babe?
I was just going to add, Rhea, sorry, am I pronouncing it Rhea or Raya?
Raya.
Raya, thank you.
Rhea. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Rhea.
I just got
Rhea.
that.
I'm sorry.
It's all
I'm sorry.
good. It's all good.
Raya, you're incredibly gifted. You know that, right?
Thank you.
And I can feel the pull in you. And obviously, you know, the number of things we add, I know, Lynnette, you're a Reiki master, the number of things we add to our repertoire, it's of service to the clients, right? And you know, if you feel guided that this is part of the service, I keep hearing, like Lynnette said, it's a beautiful add-on. And I just keep saying, they keep showing me your heart chakra, like you're so gifted. Like you're
Big
so
clairsentient. She's a big clairsentient.
clear. That's why I kept seeing your heart chakra.
Emotional, yeah, very
Yep.
sensitive. A sensitive soul.
Yuppers. There's somebody else I know on here too really well tonight. So hi, Jenny.
Oh,
We're in the same community actually, and have known each other. We were little girls.
awesome.
Yeah, I just happened to notice her here.
Oh, that's cool. That is awesome. So you see how that could add to anything. Whether, and I like what Anne Marie's talking about. She's a yoga instructor. And I love this course for, okay, you want to teach? Baby, let's get you ready for the stage. Not just a small yoga class. How about podcasts? How about video blogs? How about a website? How about we announce to the world that you are here? What's that do, Anne Marie?
It scares me and excites me at the same time. I've had been going quite slow for a period of time, and then I took a leap of faith, and I'm being guided to do more and to do it now because there's tremendous need. And I feel that it's almost like I feel the weight of the world on me, and I at times will get overwhelmed. And so it's in managing that feeling and emotion, to contain that, to have the energy to provide a service that is out there, that is calling and moving me in that direction. And I don't really want to put myself in a place where I cannot be available to do that. So that's kind of where I'm at. And so I keep thinking that, you know, I just need to keep moving along and invite people to come to me. And I know I have this gentleness and a sincerity and a thoughtfulness about myself, and it's building that relationship to connect more with that person that will start to build this. And I know then it will probably explode. But I feel there's an impatience in the world right now. And I guess I need to trust that there's a rhyme and a reason.
Exactly. 100%. We've had, was it last year or the year before? We had people who already had their practices, who, like a yoga teacher. We've had people who've had coaching practices, and took this to not only find their purpose, deepen their purpose, but also to give them some more, I want to call it bandwidth, their broadcast, so that they reach further, right? Because part of that is our inherent value, understanding that who we are and the reason we're here, because we're here to be of service. That's what makes the world go round. Because when we're a service to someone else, we feel fantastic.
Yes.
Not from obligation, from true service.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
That's beautiful. Anne Marie, Uriah, is that landing?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And especially when we're highly clairsentient, this is the other thing coming in for yourself, but somebody else in the class too. I learned a lot when I started working with Lynnette, because clairsentience, our ability to use intuition through feeling, right, which you and I, Ray, both have, and a lot of you on the call have it too. It can be, when I first started working with Lynnette, that's my primary clair, that's my primary mode when I first started, and it's incredibly depleting. When it's, like go into a grocery store, like, oh, go and see clients, oh, right? Because you're like, oh, your poor little body. So Lynnette taught me how to redirect it, to use more of my clairvoyance and claircognizance, and you still use my clairsentient, but not be like so beat up all the time. Because I would do a session and be like, I need to go to sleep, right? Because my bandwidth, right? And then she just held my hand and just, kept going and kept going. And Terry, I know you've got that too. And we get exhausted, right? But it's how do you hold that energy and not take it all in, right? And when you're doing animal work and yoga, it's a lot. And learning, Lynnette's a master at teaching you how to hold that bandwidth and also use all of your clairs, right? How to use your claircognizance, the thought insertions, the visions that are coming, the audio, and that she's a master at lots of things. And that's one thing that really saved me. Because if I was going to be doing this work full time, purely with my clairsentience, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm tired.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It'd be exhausting. So and to be of service to another with love, with an open heart, without taking it all in, so that was the other thing coming in for a few of you.
The other thing I feel guided to as well, Divi, and I don't think it's anybody on this call. I feel like it's somebody who's going to receive the recording. It feels like to me that not only the clairsentience, but there's some people who've signed up who are going to be getting the recording who also have this deep, heavy claircognizance where they know something needs to change. They know it. And if you're one of those people that that you're here to be an activist for change, a change maker, or someone who's like, I'm willing to stand up, please do so. Whether it's through this course or anything else, I'm getting this message. So I just want to say, if you're feeling that, if you're leaning that way, please don't let it just pass you by. I keep hearing that Hamilton. I don't know if you guys have heard the song, the Hamilton sound, the thing from the Broadway play Hamilton. But one of the songs, he says, I'm not giving up my shot. And this is our shot on the planet. He's like, I'm not giving up my shot. Then don't you guys pull your punch. And you guys on the call or anybody's getting this recording, don't give up your shot. Whatever it is you're here, whatever purpose or mission you feel called to connect with, don't give it up. Don't give it up, because you have it in your soul for a purpose. That's why you're here.
I want to check in. Any questions? How are you guys feeling? Anything coming up for you? They're asking me to check in for questions. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, sure, babe.
All good? Okay. Awesome. Okay. How about we go through a process? You're good with that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So with what's happening on the planet, with what's happening, I'm just going to sidestep, but it's also connected to this. So with what's happening on the planet with COVID, and, a lot of us are, like Lynnette was speaking about, not just the political nature, but just planetary wise, we know there's a change. And a lot of us came here on the planet on purpose for 2020 to be of help.
Mm-hmm.
To be, the shift, not just the shift to the matriarch and shift from the patriarch, not just that, not just to help people shift with trauma, but all of this. So if you're getting a pull that a change is needed, that's what we're referring to. We're not surprised, because a lot of us senses came on the planet 30, 40, 50, 60 years ago to be here now.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason you signed up for this call now, or watching the recording, or got this sent to you. Okay? Because there's a message, whether or not you take this course, it's not about that, but it's about standing up for who and what you're here for. Because the world is just, I keep hearing, is screaming for clarity. The
Mm.
process we're going to take you through tonight is about finding inner peace. So there's all this chaos. And for those of us who are where I live in Pacific Northwest of BC, which is, I know some of you, not all of you, you know, I know Chantel, it's different there in the UK. And Mary Wayne, it's different where you are. You know, there's on and off changes and restrictions. So recently we were told we can't have, so there's a few of us on this call, Lynette, who are in a book club together. So,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
there's
Your
3 of
cool
us.
book club.
Yeah, it is a great spiritual book club that Jen started. So it just got, you know, we're supposed to meet next Wednesday and we can't now because we're not allowed to have, and I get it. We're not allowed to socialize outside of our family unit, but that can make us feel like, whoop, right? Is anyone feeling that? Like, oh, can't socialize, right, Linda? It's like, oh. So tonight's process is about how do we find peace? So regardless of what's happening in the storm out here, there's a place inside of us that's always holding the center of the peace. And a lot of the year course, you're going to be learning tool after technique about finding that because, you know, husband's going to come home, something's going to happen. You know, work's going to go, this is always happening. But how do I find my center? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. So does anyone want to share? Is anyone struggling right now with that? Is anyone finding they're a little bit jostled with all of it? Are you finding it a little bit, some of you, or not so much? You're finding it a little bit?
Yeah, Terry shaking her head. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, Linda, they're jumping to you before I go into this meditation. What would you say in terms of somebody comes to you and says, I'm jostled from what's happening in the States or anywhere? What would you say to them?
I would say my first answer would say, slow down and take a breath. Slow down. Because we tend to, our amygdala, we tend to go the fight, flight, freeze, all that conversation. We got to do something. And it's like, it's when we slow down, we take a breath and connect with our divine connections, receive intuition, receive guidance, pure from the heart, not from fear, and then move forward. You know, I found through this whole COVID stuff and you know, all of this rigmarole for my country about the election and all these things, it is like, you know, everybody's saying, hey, put 2020 back in the box or, you know, it's part of Pandora's box, put it back in, right? And I know that the reason why I was guided to do all this training and the reason why Divi has been guided to do all the decades of training that she has is so that we could be in this spot for this time right now. And having these skills and abilities, having the toolbox and having people, like-minded people, even if they're a country away, that we can literally see and say, hey, this is a booger. I'm bugging out. It's like, okay, I get it. Let's talk about it, right? To have that power and not go into the aggro conversation of anger, resentment, and forcing. And that makes a huge difference. And that allows us to have our peace, to have some peace of mind, like what Divi just said.
Yeah.
I'm
going to read the 2 quotes that came in and we'll keep talking about finding this peace thing. Mary Wayne wrote, I thought I was doing okay with all of it, but I noticed my blood pressure was going way up. Then Raya writes in, my 11-year-old daughter is completely taken over with panic and anxiety with the energy around. She's missed a week of school this last week with a powerful world shift right now. So, you know, it's happening, right? Raya, like it's happening. And what, you know, Lynnette, bang on, stop, breathe. I'm going to take you into meditation in a few minutes here. Stop, breathe, because what's happening for all of us, Raya, Mary Wayne, for all of us is our amygdala saying it's designed to keep us in safe. And so it's, you know, for some of us, I know for me, it's like when someone tells me not to do something, I'm like, I'm going to do it anyways, because I've got this internal rebel in me, like, because my amygdala, don't tell me not to do that, right? How many of us like, right? I think that's a lot of us, right?
Anybody else like that? Anybody? Be honest. Raise your hand if you're a rebel. Come on, you're here.
Yeah.
You gotta be a rebel, man.
You and I know, right? Daddy tells me, I'm doing it, right? So when this happens, it's like it triggers us. Then a fight or flight freeze happens, and we're like, right? And that's just our brain trying to protect us. So stop and breathe is a huge part of us. Pause, breathe, what's happening? Not why am I reacting this way, but really getting up and screaming is not going to help. but what can I do to repattern this? How can I perceive this differently? And Lynnette was speaking about recentering. Guys, when we stop and breathe and notice what's happening to our amygdala, and in the year course, week after week after week, you'll learn different techniques to rewire this. Then what happens when you start to rewire, there's 3 main areas of your body, and you'll read it in our book as well, but your brain, your heart, and your gut that are imprinted. You're born with those printings to connect to your intuition. These 3 organs, your brain, your heart, and your gut, actually have linings in them to connect to your knowing, your intuition. But it's challenging, if not impossible, and Lynnette can speak of how high the percentages is, to connect to your intuition if you're freaking out. If you're in fear, right? 0, and that's like 0.
What you get will be wrong.
Right. Right? So if you're like, screw you, here, Lynnette, the woman's name is Bonnie Henry, our Minister of Health. Minister of Health, I'm not staying inside. I'm having a party tonight, you know, and because your amygdala is like, that's my dad. Then you can't listen to your intuition. Your intuition, your heart, which is imprinted with a knowing, knows that you're safe. So the year course has a lot to do with how to not just rewire your mind, but how do you wake up these 3 parts of your body that are imprinted to know, that are imprinted with intuition, that are waiting for you to listen to what they're telling you. Does that land, guys? Lynnette, do you want to speak more about intuition before I take them into this process?
Yeah, well, actually, I got the guidance to ask Aaliyah to share her experience of her intuition since being in the Aaliyah's in our current year course, and we've gone through the intuition module, and she's a powerhouse just like Sharon. And could you share with them a little bit, Aaliyah, your experience around the intuition conversation?
Oh, and the year course.
And the year course, yeah, in the year course. Right.
Hi, everybody. This year has been absolutely amazing. I met Divi maybe just a few months before the course, and had always had a sense that there was some other sense that I was using, especially in my medical practice, but also with my family, and little weird things would happen, like you know, a patient would come into the walk-in clinic and say, oh, I've got this this rash, and I would look at her and be like, what happened with your mom? And it was just like this really weird phenomenon, but that was just like one of those weird things that I didn't really know how to explain. And then did the webinar. I think I was at the webinar, and learned more about the year program. And the thing that got me, I've always been really into self-discovery. It's like my mission in life is to learn about myself and learn about nature. And I've read so many books on this, that, and the other thing, and the way the mind works and all of this. And finally, when I was learning about this program and really dove in and asked Divi and Lynnette about this course, realized that there was so much being that I wasn't. It was more about reading and knowing, but there was an application piece that was missing. And, you know, a lot of the books that I read were always like, oh yeah, meditate on this and do this. But the journey that the year has been so far with the group, and like a weekly accountability, and the powerhouses of Divi and Lynnette just guiding the group, has been so phenomenally amazing. Like, for lack of a better word, there's really like no words that I have that could describe how incredible this year has been. I've learned more about myself this year than my whole life, and the intuition piece, it's just been phenomenal in like just witnessing not only myself, but also like the group that we had together. Like, everyone is just like sparking. And it's like, you start noticing all of a sudden that you have this like other voice in you that actually speaks. And before, I used to be you know, questioning, is this my mind? Is this my ego? What's intuition versus that other voice? And always had a hard time identifying what was what. And I gotta say, it wasn't until like the 6th or 7th month in that it really started to become more clear. And the intuition weekend that we had, oh my God, it was so incredible to witness myself, but also everyone else in this like incredible journey. I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like it's almost like going to Hogwarts, like in Harry Potter. I felt like a little magician. It was just so cool. And it's like, oh, I have this all the time, but it's like, my true belief is the way that we get programmed over our lives and, you know, our schooling system, our government, our healthcare system, it's like all of these like cover-ups to lose your empowerment. And I feel like this was an opportunity to really uncover that. And there was a lot of rawness and a lot of emotional stuff that came up, but to be held in a space where you have like 20 other women and powerful women and support, and Divi and Lynnette constantly there, like anytime, even outside of the weekly sessions, like when I needed something, it was like a quick Facebook message or a quick reach out to them and they were there. And it was like, I've been held, like there's someone there that gets it. And yeah, I can't even say enough. Like I feel so blessed to have had this year. And it's like more and more fun. Like there's more and more play that comes out. There's more of myself that I'm loving. It's like, it's amazing. I'm sorry, I'm probably rambling now, but I'm just really happy that I did it. So thank you guys.
Do you guys have any questions for Aaliyah or Sharon since they've previously taken the course? Do you have any questions for them before we go in? Because after we go through this process, you might be a little, ooh, you know, kind of like, whoa, this is a good time to float on out, right? So do you have any questions at all for Aaliyah or Sharon?
Courtney
I
does.
have one.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's a great overview from both of you. So thanks so much. And just seeing Aaliyah glow, obviously is, you know, just an indication there as well. So it's very exciting, pretty much resonating with what I'm expecting as well. But just curious for the both of you, like what was the hardest part about it? Was it committing the time? Was it doing the work? What sort of challenges could we expect?
Ooh, great question, Courtney.
That's a great question, Courtney. Love that.
Sharon, you're muted.
There.
Yeah, good question. It wasn't the time for me. I didn't find it was the time. I sort of had to get over some self-importance, you know, so, you know, facing some of the shadow, like, because I was a cranial psychotherapist. I had done women's groups. I had, you know, so I was coming in kind of like, oh, but look at all these newbies, you know, I know way more, blah, 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 right? But that, you know what? It didn't matter because we're all sort of starting from the same level and we're all learning what we need to learn when we need to learn it. So part of it was just getting out of my own way was the hardest part. The time commitment was totally manageable. Like it was totally, you know, you have your class every week and then you have your homework and you have your, you know, maybe you meet with your partner. And then the rest of it is that, because when you're experientially learning, you're just doing it when it comes in. So, you know, if we're learning to watch our thoughts, well, I'm not just setting aside an hour to do that. I'm kind of doing it every day, sort of all day or parts of the day. So all of the kind of homework that we got was really incorporated in my everyday life. You know, it was just creating awareness. So yeah, so I never felt overwhelmed with the work. It was more with myself. So.
Right, makes sense. Thank you. Aaliyah, did you find the same thing?
Yeah, I think there was a lot more internal work. When I first started, I've got to say, I had just completed Landmark. I don't know if you've heard of that program, but I had done Landmark, and there were benefits that I found from the program, and they were very heavy on the group piece and like having these small groups. And I always hated spending my time with people when I was done my day. I hated it because I was like, oh, I spent time with so many people throughout the day. I want to come home and not talk to anybody and just stare at a wall. And that worked for me. And when I started this program, I was like, oh man, okay, it's just like this group session, you know, once a week in this big group, and I'll just do my homework the rest of the time and it'll be fine. And then they announced, oh, there's going to be mini groups that you have to meet with too. And then you have to have a buddy and you guys have to talk and, you know, all of this. And I was like, oh no. And anyways, took it on. I was like, you know, I'm the good girl that gets the work done and, you know, keeps going, smile on my face. So went along with it. But honestly, like, it was so good. It didn't feel like a forced feeling at all. It felt actually like I had people that got me, and for the first time felt good about meeting these people and spending the time with them, which made me realize so many aspects of my life where I wasn't really being me. And so that's why I wasn't feeling good. And so much of the homework, and I'm going to be honest, I'm sorry, Divi and Lynnette, I haven't finished reading all my books. And there's like lots of books to read, but it's cool because like what I've realized is I've read what I've needed to as I've gone through it and know that this is for a lifetime. So these are suggestions that I know I can have resources for even after. So I in the beginning, I was just like, oh my God, I've got so much homework and I'm all behind. And then I just let it go. And I was just like, wow, I'm just learning as I go through life. And one of the things that I was reminded of when Sharon was speaking was the weekly homework. It wasn't burdensome at all because it actually felt like it related to everything that was happening in my life. And it's so weird that everyone in the group had the same feeling. Like it was like every week, somehow I needed that piece to actually get through whatever challenge I was going through in that week. And even if the challenge hadn't shown up, it would show up right after the homework was given. So it was like, okay. And it was just so perfect. And like that, it was the other pieces, like, was there actually ever a coincidence, or was this actually lining up? And was I just able to take off my dirty glasses and see more clearly and know how I was going to implement things for myself with all these tools. So yeah, it wasn't, so I'm going to be honest, like in the beginning, it was hard in that because I had my mindset stuck in that way, but the group shifted it, the Divi and Lynnette's approach shifted it. And even better, I gotta say, our group was so honest. Like we just spoke up when we had our check-ins. When we first start the meeting, we have a check-in. And so we just openly and honestly shared like, hey, that sucked, or, you know, this week, like, I don't feel good. And it just felt like you could say whatever you wanted and you were gotten, like people got you, like this was your space. And after that experience started, I was like, wow, I'll do whatever you say.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you both answering that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I wanted before, go Jenny. Yeah, go for it.
It's so funny. Thank you, Courtney, for asking that message, because before it, when I wrote a question of what I wanted to ask, you asked the question, which is awesome. I said, what are the challenges that your participants have noticed? So I just heard that. But honestly, listening to both of you, I know that's the right time and place to take this course. I'm really looking forward to it. I I'm in a time where I want to have fun. Like I need to learn how that, like I call it my pleasure bubble. I need to stay in my pleasure bubble because it's really, I've pushed myself. So I've pushed myself to like breakdown, honest to God, big breakdown. And so I feel like my learning right now is learning to stay in my pleasure bubble and not get all stressed out. And so I was a little worried about how much work there'd be but it sounds totally manageable. It sounds like it's going to be totally interesting for me. My purpose in taking this is self-awareness leading to helping others. I feel like I've got a role to play at some point. I feel like it's still in the future. I feel like it's still a time for me to be learning about myself. And I'm just reading a ton of stuff. And I've taken lots of courses recently, like in the last few years. I've been dabbling in this here and there. And I just love so many aspects of what this course will provide. But I wonder if Divi or Lynnette, if you're having any hits about what you think I might be getting out of this course.
I work with Jen, so Lynnette, that one's yours.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Well,
So like,
the first thing I see is a microphone. So that tells me that it's about your throat chakra that you're supposed to be sharing. You're supposed to be teaching. You're supposed to be speaking. They show me that you're also a natural healer. I don't know if you know that, but you're a natural healer and that you have the ability with groups to facilitate massive healing is what I hear. And whether it's through, energy, Reiki, but I feel like it's more about teaching, like teaching consciousness, teaching awareness, teaching, living life with joy. And I just want you to get a website that's called The Pleasure Bubble, because I'm like that. I wrote it down. I love that pleasure bubble because I want to be in a pleasure bubble too. I mean, that is it right there. Right? Living, you want to,
no, that's beautiful. No, that's beautiful. And Sharon and I were like nodding our head up and down because Jen's the orchestrator of our spiritual book club. So she's the one who organized that. And so, yeah, Sharon and I have seen it in live action. Right. And
the natural networker.
Yes, she is.
A stranger.
Well, it's funny because I did go to energy healing school.
Oh,
and
geez.
So, but I did the 4-month intro to a 2-year program. So I got sort of the smatterings of it, but I just decided I wasn't a person who's going to stand there and do this. It's just not my way of healing. You're right. My way of healing is about sharing and talking. And I do find already in my group of friends that I'm often asked these kinds of, questions and stuff.
So in your group, they go, oh, Jen knows. Jen has the answer.
Yeah. And the way I love that the approach that I take is similar to yours. And that is, I'm not any better than anybody else. I've just had some experiences that might help some people. And if you want to know them, I'm happy to share them, but I'm not going to be, it's an allow. We learned that in energy school, that everything happens in allow.
Exactly.
When you're ready. Like there's I've had some teachers who want to push me and shock me into my learning, and I just can't do that. It needs to be gentle for me. And yeah, so I'm really excited.
So know that Divi and I get really excited. I will get super excited and I will be on my soapbox sometimes and I'll get really big. And I'm not one of those people who's into the boot camp conversation, yelling at people, because the one thing I've learned over my 30 years of working with intuition and teaching it is that you pressure somebody, you just cut their connection.
And so ultimately my purpose in taking this course is to build my intuition, because
yes.
I'm a daily meditator. I am really open to hearing more from my guides, but I haven't had a very open channel yet. So I'm becoming more and more quiet and trying to, that's my goal for the course, is to really try to open up that channel a bit. I'm a feeler, I'm a knower. Feeling is my thing. I've been told that I could be clairvoyant, but I haven't been able to access that yet. So I'm really interested in learning about all of the knowings and channels.
And that's fun. It's so much fun. Divi and I have so much fun with that, right? It is a powerful tool that has been trained out of us because of our culture. Yeah. Right. And finding it again is, I mean, the power in it has you feel like a superhero. It really does. It really does. And for me, it doesn't have me feel so isolated in times when you can't gather in person. But thank God for Zoom, right? Thank God for Zoom. There was a quote, there's something. Oh, Anne-Marie wrote. Did you read what Anne-Marie wrote? Brain, heart, and gut.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
It kicked in the gut to wake up to my intuition. Anne-Marie, you want to say anything about that, baby? Before we do the process, I want to make sure everybody's clear.
Yeah, I just love the words that Divi had shared, because I had been off for a few days and had commitments today, and learned some valuable lessons from Sharon, and decided to take a well-being day for me and burst into tears. And then I kind of spiraled from there. And it was literally like I got a kick in the gut, and it just stopped me in my tracks. And it was like looking up, and it's like, okay, I hear, and you're with me now. Tell me what I need to know. And the whole day, boom, boom, boom. I was exhausted. I left the house, and the signs were coming at me in every direction. I sat down, drinking a latte, and in front of me, a billboard with the words, create happiness, joy, believe, trust, love yourself. And I'm thinking, oh man, like what has been going on with me? And I came home, and yeah, I wanted to distract myself. And every time I thought I would do something, I would get another jab. Ooh. And I just sat down, and it was probably the most productive day. I wrote, I don't know how many pages. I felt so excited to be here and to listen to both you, Lynnette, and Divi, and to hear the experiences of Aaliyah and Sharon. I know I'm ready. I'm probably in the course right now by myself, and excited that I'm going to be joining everyone soon.
Yeah,
but that was it. It was just phenomenal.
That's fine. I've had the same thing, that clairsentience, that kick in the gut, that, and it is powerful when I love the way you managed it, Anne-Marie, the fact that you stopped and you started writing, and you went inward, and you said you had the most productive day, and you were slowing down. And here's where you're like, wait, slowing down makes you're not productive. You're lazy. And it's like, oh, wait, if I slow down, I get way more done. It's easier. Things are smoother. The universe is my cohort. Let's give the universe some stuff to do for you. I'm serious, by the way. Give the universe some jobs. You don't have to do it all. You're not here alone. I love that, Anne-Marie. Thank you so much. That's powerful.
Love that. And Linda, I know you handled that. I was going to circle you anyway, so I love that.
Okay. Whoops.
Yeah, no, you were good a second ago.
Back again.
Back. You're muted again, sweetie. Can you unmute yourself? You had it a second ago. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. I'm learning so much from everybody here tonight, and I'm so thankful for the questions. The last one from Jenny, where I'm not going to say it the same way as her, but I have this nagging feeling like, first of all, I do feel like there's a lot of me that feels like I should go forward with this, but then there's the other part that says, I'm not ready for this. I can't do this. I can't get to the other side. What am I going to do when I get to the other side? How successful can I be? And there's lots. So anyway.
Sharon or Aaliyah, do one of you want to answer her question?
Leah, go for it.
Or you both can.
Yeah.
Wow. I got really big chills when you said that, Linda, about getting to the other side. Is it okay if I share what I got?
Yeah, that's why I asked.
What we said. Yeah, definitely.
I got that you already are there and you're just not able to see it. And you, I don't know, I'm getting really emotional. You have a huge gift, and I know that you're scared and you've been alone a lot. And I think you're scared to have a group to really show up in and not be in your story anymore about the loneliness. And this is a group that you need. But there's no crossing over because you're already there.
Oh, shoot. That's a lot. I thank you for all of that. I've had a lot of coaching from Divi, from Christine, for not to be afraid. And I get messages if I feel that, and maybe a lot of it is that story, and I have to learn a new one, write a new book.
And, Linda, what I'm getting too is that there's this sense that you've always carried that you don't belong, and you actually do belong. So that longing in your heart to belong, this is a place where you belong.
Yeah.
How does that land, Linda?
Pardon?
How does that land? How does that feel, what Sharon said? And
it's true. And maybe that's part of what's been going on for probably my whole life, not quite fitting in. But maybe I've been perceptive all along, and just I've been told that there's been like an ice shield around my heart, and I know that that's melting. I absolutely know that that is melting every day. So
you have had this ability, Linda. They're showing me that you've been tapping into this since the time you were 3 years old.
Really?
And that that sensitivity of isolation, that's a classic thing that all intuitives that happens for us. We feel, even in our families, even, and big friends all around, whatever, we feel like we don't fit in. Because there's a sense, because we're tapped in, we're tuned in, and we see more than the average bear. We feel more than the average bear, right? It's like we can get the sense of what's really going on, and it makes people uncomfortable. Because people who are trying to not be their truth, who are trying to, put on the facades, because we're taught to wear masks, right? In our world, we're taught to be brave, don't show emotion, be logical, do. And here we come in these big hearts and saying, I just want to melt the ice around my heart and love these people and embrace them, because they are you and you are them.
That's something that I only just started to get a little while ago. Yeah. That I'm not an island.
No, you're not, baby. You're not.
Thank you so much, everybody.
I want you to see what Raya wrote in the, she's like, This is emotional. She felt it in her entire body. Look what she wrote in the chat, right? We are born to stand out, 100%. We're all meant to be, each and every one of us are unique energy signatures that fit into the global picture. We're pixels that make up the entire picture. And each pixel matters. Every single, if one pixel is not lit up, the picture won't look the same.
Thanks,
It's
all.
really-
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now here's one thing I do want to point out. I'm very proud of Aaliyah. I mean, she hasn't even finished her course yet. And she's like, this is what I see. And you see how she spoke courageously. She's never met Linda, and she spoke courageously. And, I think if you would have asked her to do that back in January, she would have said, excuse me, I'm out, and hit the exit button. Right?
Yeah.
And you too, right? When you first started, right? I mean, even though Sharon had like, well, I can know how to do this because I'm really good. And she is fair. I mean, it's truth. She is good. And she has a right to say that. And it's like, but this is something different, right? There's always room for more.
For me, it's such a gift to watch everyone. Alea, for example, Linda, I met Alea at an event that I was in this movie event in Victoria, like she said, a few months before the year course. And I went out on the edge and I stood up and did a cold reading in this room, and Alea was on the stage with me. She was presenting something else. And then her and I had coffee when she came to Vancouver a couple of days later. And I did a mini reading over coffee with her. And I said, I looked at Alea straight in the eye, Linda, like I'm looking at you. And I said, Alea, you've got the same gift I have. And now fast forward less than a year, whatever it is, hon, and watching you give Linda the gift I gave you is like full circle. And it blossoms my heart. Like I can't tell you. Melinda, you'll be sitting there too, doing it in a year. And
we're going to count on you, Linda.
Exactly. And it's like a soul knowing.
It is.
Right? It's like we see each other and know each other. So thank you to everyone.
I felt those chills too, Anne Marie. I felt them. Yeah, I felt it. Yeah.
I want to get there.
You're getting there, girl.
You are. And what's so great about this course is that it's organic and it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, this is like, let's one step at a time. That's how you implement and create to change your life.
Any other comments, questions before we go into our process for this last little bit?
Sharon, I keep feeling like you had something to say. Sure. No? Okay.
Leah, you're good. Any other comments or questions? Chantel, anybody? Terry?
Yeah, Chantel, you doing well?
Mary Wayne, anyone else have any questions?
Can you give me 1 minute to get my charger so I don't lose you?
For sure, honey. For sure, no problem. I'll just check in. Terry, do you have any questions? Fang Ming, any questions?
No questions. I'm going to go pee.
Oh, good. Go for it. I love that. Thank you, Terry, for not holding it. I appreciate that. That's real. Anybody else got to pee? Bunch of girls.
I know. Anyone else? You guys, no questions? Jen, like there's two Jens on the call. No Jen?
Yeah, we're going to have to, Jen, oopsie. We're going to have to figure out how to call. If you're going to take the course, we're going to have to figure out how to refer to each other.
We will definitely be figuring it out.
I like Jen. Like I go with Jen. Do you go with Jenny or Jen?
Both. So yeah, it'll be good. Yeah.
I love this.
I know. So sweet of
this year we have two Nicoles. Yeah. It's so great. So Divi's like,
how many people are registered already?
For this year's, I think about a dozen. I think. I've got the list at home and I'm here.
And what is your kind of average number for a year?
What? Anyway, like 20, 30?
26. Yeah. Divi and I were joking around. Okay, let's do 100. And we're really clear. No.
We would have, maybe run two groups or do whatever we do. but it's an intimate container, right? And the thing that I know people like the other Jen, Anne Marie, Chantal, Terry, a few of you can already speak to, those of you who are already registered, Courtney, who've already registered, they can speak to, I know a few of you have actually emailed me and said, the course has started. I can feel it, right, Jay? Right?
As soon as you register, it starts.
You register. Exactly. And so for those of you who haven't, sorry?
Oh, sorry, that was okay. She goes, oh, I didn't realize my mic was on, talking to my kids.
It's all good. And to register, you just reach out to me, and we can set you up. But it literally starts the moment you say to us,
yes,
we're good to go. And I know, Chantel, you've experienced it, right? I got that email from you. It happens, doesn't it? Even though you're halfway across the pond, right? It happens. So, yeah.
And do you guys have an inkling? Let's hope that a vaccine comes out and by maybe next fall we'll be okay to travel. Do you guys, when do you usually get when everybody gets together? Where is it in the course? And do you have any idea where we might go?
Well, it differs. It depends on the group, right? We've had it in groups where it's been early. We've had it when it's been late. Divi and I are holding the space that we do meet in person this year. And we've also invited like Aaliyah and her group to join you guys as well. So that it's like, because they didn't have in person either.
Yeah.
And so, which I would love that, because I'm like, oh, good. And like, we have all these people to partner up that don't know anything about each other. Like, score, right? Because that's where you really see, oh, wow, I am intuitive. I don't even know her. And why did I start talking about her Uncle Joe? And right? It's like, it's magic, you know, it's powerful. It really is. So Jenny, I'm in that space. I mean, Divi, you want to respond?
You know, so worse, just to go there for a second, we do another online, then we all meet in 2022. That's the worst. And I don't sense that's going to happen. But typically we meet, Jen, because I know it's just about dates, typically meet in June. That's typically like halfway. Because then we've done a lot of the energy, a lot of the self-healing stuff in the first 6 months, right? And one year we met a bit early in May, and that Lynnette and I, I think that was still too early, just because we have to organize 20 something people's weekends, right? This year will be easier to organize because of COVID. A lot of us are locked in, right? So we don't have a ton of travel plans. This last year, we actually met in September. Leah can speak to that. We met in September online for 3 days, just because Lynnette and I were waiting. They're gonna open the borders, right?
Please open, can you let somebody from Texas in, please?
But she wasn't the only American. We had a couple other Americans in the group. So it wasn't like, you know. So anyways, we met online, which I was, Divi was super shocked at how powerful it was. Like, I was like, oh my God, stuff can be taught anywhere. So Lynette's a powerhouse. And so I guess my answer to you, Jen, is we're going to see, but my hope, sense, prayer is June, July, August, we'll be able to meet in person. Somewhere in there, you know, where we meet, it really depends on what's happening with borders and all that stuff, to be honest. So,
thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. I had a great question, though. Any comments or questions?
Anybody else? All
right, guys, let's meditate. Oh, look at Raya. She's so cute, right? You're so cute.
I know, her daughter. She looks just like you, Raya. See, I'm going to say Raya because I know somebody named Raya. She spells it just like you, and she pronounces it Raya. So I'm going to have a lot of trouble. You're going to have to reprogram my brain. Right? Correct? She looks just like you. She's gorgeous. You are a pretty girl. Oh my God, I could eat you up. I love kids.
No. All right, we're going to go into meditation, everyone. Just gently go ahead and close your eyes. And just follow your breath in and out. Deep breaths in. Slow breaths out. Inhale and exhale. Belly rises and belly falls. With every inhale, notice, sense, or feel the breath and chest lifting. And with every exhale, notice the chest and belly falling. Breath in, breath out. Inhale and exhale. Belly rises and belly falls. On your next breath, take your focus to your forehead, your scalp, and the top of your head. Feeling and sensing them relax. With each breath, soften, easy, and relax. On your next breath, move the awareness to your cheeks, your jaw, your tongue, your nose, and feel your cheeks relax. Your jaw soften, your tongue let go. Now move the awareness down into your neck and your throat. Grow softer, softer, softer. Breathe in and out. And now move the awareness into your shoulders, upper back, as they relax and soften with your awareness, your breath, and your focus. And now moving the awareness into your upper arms, your elbows, forearms, and hands as they grow heavier, softer, and more relaxed. Breathing in, breathing out. Now the awareness moves down into your chest, your lungs, your heart, your breath, as they get deeper and deeper, relaxed, letting go, and soft. Now the awareness moves into your belly, your abdomen, right into your hips, as that whole part of your body gets softer, softer, and softer. Now moving into your thighs, your knees and your shins, and right into your feet, as you feel your legs sinking, relaxing into the chair. As you breathe in, breathe out. Now you can feel the breath move from your feet, up through your legs, up through the back of your spine. As you're starting to notice within the body is more relaxing, more calm, maybe even a bit more centered. Now within this center of calm and quiet, take your focus to an area of your body. Choose your heart, or your gut, or your brain. Choose one of the three awareness areas of your body that receive your intuitive knowing. Go to the place you were first guided to go. Try not to think about it. If you first got the hit to go to your gut, go to your gut. Center your focus into that place. The place you have chosen is the perfect one. And just breathe. Notice how right now you're a bit more centered, a bit more connected, a little bit more quiet. Within this place of calm, centered, and quiet, there are literally imprints on the body part you just chose. So I will be speaking of the heart, but apply it if you chose the brain or the gut. If you chose the heart, there's imprints in your heart that are receiving intuitive awareness from your divine support team. And breathe. Each of us have guides, ancestors, non-physical energies that are here to support and love us. And we receive these messages through what we call our intuition, through this body part that you've just chosen. On your breath, I want you to imagine this body part like it's got solar panels on it and it's sticking out in the sun. And those solar panels, those energy strips on your heart are receiving the nudges from the universe. Just like your solar panel receives sun and heat from the sun. I want you to now imagine, visualize, sense, or feel the intuitive nudges that are waking up in one of these body parts. Simply see it. Imagine it. Feel it. You are waking up the natural imprinting that is in your body to connect to the universal intelligence. As you breathe and you center here, you are now in a much more receptive knowing of the truth. As you connect here, you may start to feel some body sensations. Perhaps you feel hot and cold, maybe tingly, maybe nothing at all. Change in air pressure. The more you focus on the body part you just chose, the one your intuition said to go to, you are connecting with the natural intelligence of your body. You're knowing your truth, your inner wisdom. Some of you are getting super hot. This is normal. This is part of it. Just recenter in the breath. I'm going to invite you to just stay here, knowing that you have connected with a part of you that has been imprinted since the day you were born, with the ability to receive awareness, truth, and knowing. But in order to access this, we have to find the center and the calm of the storm. We have to learn to bypass the mind and find the center. Take about 10 or 20 deep breaths, knowing that you have found the imprints in your body of receiving. And as we move through the year course together, you'll be able to use these channels to awaken to your truth, your divine calling, your service to each other, your service to the planet, and your service to yourself. Each of you are at a slightly different energy space. So I encourage you to take about 10 or 20 more slow, deep breaths. Grounding in your body. Thanking yourself for taking this time. Knowing that you've built a higher awareness to the part of you that's ready to receive messages. As you center in the calm of the storm with your mind. After you take the 10 or 20 deep breaths, becoming aware of your fingers and your toes. Very slowly when you're ready, moving a different body part to bring your awareness to the physicality. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, coming back to the brighter room. Take your time returning. Like Lynette said, we might be too spacey to talk, but I want to check in how you guys are. How was that? How do you feel? Take your time. Some of you are really out there, which is awesome. That's what intuition's all about, guys. Your body is imprinted, okay? It's like solar panels. Got to receive messages. Have to bypass this crazy amygdala mind of ours. We're gonna learn, teach you all how to do that. And when you start to access it, oh my God, like you saw Alea and Sharon do with Linda, it's the greatest service in my mind that we can do for each other on the planet. How are y'all feeling? I've hang out with Lynette too much. I call y'all now. How are you guys doing? Usually I say you guys, but how are y'all doing? How are you feeling? Good, Jen? Awesome. Linda, Jen, you're good? Terry, you're good? Perfect, Rhea? Awesome. Perfect. So today's meditation was just about opening this up, becoming aware, becoming conscious. Chantel, you're good? Not to tell you, you're with me? Perfect. Any comments or questions before we wrap? How are you feeling? Lynette, do you want to add anything to that? I just wanted to introduce this.
I think it's powerful. Yeah. It's very beautiful, baby. I love it.
Thanks, honey. Thank you. Right. Comments or questions? And I want to give a special thanks to Lee and Sharon for showing up. I feel super hyper. I know, Chantel. I know. Lynette, I know. It's like, woo. I know.
I kept on trying to like calm myself down.
Did you?
It wasn't working very well.
I'm standing at a standing desk and I started doing this. I'm like, whoever's on the recording, I'm going to be the one that everybody's going to go, what's going on with her?
Try to wake you up the energy, Chantal. It's awesome. I love that. Any other comments or questions? Y'all are good?
Mary,
yeah, Linda.
I have a quick one.
Yeah.
So I felt it in my gut. Now my gut has been like, it just really, really feels like it needs to heal. So it makes sense to me that all these years, if my gut's not feeling good, then, and if I'm trapping energy in there, so it's all gonna just, okay. Yeah.
There's a gentleman, and Lynette's running this intuition incubation chamber. Is that what it's, sorry, is that, did I kind of pronounce, am I calling it right?
Incubator. Yeah.
Thank you.
An incubator.
An incubator. And there's a gentleman I met at Whistler, Linda, and at an event I was teaching at, and he told me, I could tell when I met him, he was super intuitive, super gifted. He was telling me he had this really bad sinus pain. All I could see was his clairvoyance was blocked. He wasn't using it enough, or he was using it scatteringly. And he started this thing that Lynette started, and I call it the thing now. And his sinus stuff is opening up because now he's directing the energy out, not just going and clogging or little bits, it's moving. Right? And that's like, so when we get this clogged up, it's because it's not moving. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Anything else, guys?
Feeling called to check in on Mary. Mary,
Wayne? Mary Wayne?
Mm-hmm. Was there another Mary?
No, Mary Wayne. I don't know. Yeah. She might not be there. Mary Wayne, are you there, hon?
That's good.
Because her video's off. It's okay. Perfect. Okay, Jen says thank you. You're welcome, Jen. Anything else, guys? You guys are good? Perfect.
Thank
awesome.
You
Perfect.
For taking time out
Thank
of
you, everyone.
Schedule. We really appreciate it. We know how busy you all are. We know that you can make other choices to spend your 2 hours somewhere else. Yeah, whatever, however long it was. Just thank you so much for honoring Divi and I and taking the time to be here. It's really sweet. We are very grateful.
Yes, thank you. And Mary Wynn says she's here, but she just can't unmute. So.
Oh, okay.
I just got able to unmute. So I'm here. I'm on camera. Hi, that was lovely. Did you have anything you wanted to say or add?
Well, I wanted to see how that landed for you, how the process and I kept seeing you circled. So I just want to check in, whatever, like you don't, I know you don't have any questions because you would have asked, but just wanted to tune in to see how you make sure you're good.
Oh, I'm good. What does it mean that you kept seeing me circle?
So when Divi and I do the class, when we lead this class, because of our intuition, we kind of set a boundary where we said, if there's someone we need to work with or someone, direct our attention. And it's like we see a little circle around them. Like on the Zoom screen, you see how you see everybody's faces? So there was a circle around you. And so I was like, I want to tune in to Mary and see how she is. That's all.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, no, I'm good. I loved the whole thing. And I am interested in my blood pressure. That's about, so if you have any news about that, I'd love to know. But other than that, no, I'm just feeling very happy and relaxed and content.
The blood pressure to me feels like it's your clairsentience around the world. It's raising your heart rate up. So
okay.
More breaths, follow your doctor's instructions and all that good stuff, right? But I keep hearing stress, and you're taking on everybody's a lot, like you don't realize you're clairsentient as well. And you don't realize that I'm going to carry it for everybody is what I keep hearing.
Yeah, that resonates. That's an old story. I'm ready to give that up, but awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure, definitely. Thank you for unmuting and coming back on, because it was something like, oh, Divi, don't hang up yet. I got to make sure. I got to keep seeing her. So thank you.
Perfect, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
And we will chat very soon. Big love, guys. Thanks, everyone.
That was great.
That was
so much.
Thank you.